Hud's House. You're listening to the Hud's House Podcast with E. Hud and Serena Love on the Thinking Out Loud Network.
Yo, this is your boy E. Hud. You are in the house. Welcome to the Hud's House Podcast. My lovely co-host Serena Love is still MIA. We about to put out an APB on Serena Love. You know what I'm saying? Nah, she's handling business right now. But I got my homeboy Legacy, the Prince. He's in the building.
What up? We're going to have to put a picture of Serena Love on the back of the milk cartons.
Where is she?
You know that poster when you first walk into Walmart? They got all the missing
Yeah. Perfect.
I go put a picture of Serena Love.
Put her face right there with a microphone. Where's she at?
With the Hud House logo.
Yeah. My homeboy Legacy in the building, man.
What's
He's
up,
going to hold me
What's
down.
good?
Guest co-host right now, you know what I mean? Yo, we got a great show for you today. This is more like family in the building, you know what I'm saying? My homeboy, I call him the mayor of the ATL, you know what I'm saying? If you want to, listen, if you in the ATL, and you don't hook up with this man, you do yourself a great injustice. You dig what I'm saying? A grave injustice, you know what I mean? This is the mayor, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Who's the new mayor? Keisha Lance Bottoms?
Lance Bottoms.
Yeah. Well, this is Mayor 1A, 1B, 2.0. You dig what I'm saying? My boy Double ATL's in the building.
What up, Doug?
What's good, man?
Welcome to the house, my G.
It's good to be in here. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at home.
You know what I'm saying? We have to set the feng shui up for you, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
So you can, slide right in and feel good.
Right. Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
It's good to be here.
Yo, I've known Double. I've not been shy of letting people know how I got my start. Or when I started doing gospel rap. You were the first person that kind of grabbed me and be like, "Yo, let's move together," or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So I owe a lot of connections and my early start to you and our friendship and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Jose.
Yeah.
The whole up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? But tell everybody, man, who Double is, yo. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody know who you are, but for the market of people that are watching, you know what I mean? Who's Double?
There's still some people out there that don't know me.
Talk to them.
After that, I want to know how you almost got in trouble at his wedding. Because I remember you mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
I got to hear this story. I was just like, I got to hear this.
Oh, you ain't go into it? All right.
Nah, I didn't go into it. But yeah, no, that was 2 weddings in a row. That was your wedding and Jose's wedding, and I was just under fire.
Facts.
But praise God, me and my wife just celebrated 9 years of marriage.
Yeah.
So,
shouts out to Takia and the whole family.
The whole family. I had 2 beautiful girls. If you want to know who I am, that's who I am.
Come on now.
I'm a husband and a father.
Talk to him.
Man of God, I do some rapping on the side. I run with a wonderful team called City Takers, and
Shouts out City Takers.
We do a lot of urban missionary work, a lot of homeless ministry, a lot of prison ministry, a lot of just community work, a lot of training within the church, and so that's what I do. That's pretty much me, man. I have a lot of relationships within the realm of gospel, hip hop, Christian, whatever you want to call it, whatever they try not to call it, whatever it is, I'm like an OG in the game. So absolutely. I got a lot of these young guys coming up. I'm like big bro to them, but God has so graciously allowed me to continue to make some really dope music.
That's what's up, man.
He's opening some amazing doors. So I'm just here, man. I'm just here.
I got a phone call about you the other day. Straight up, somebody.
I don't know. That could be good.
Yeah, was it a phone call? Somebody called me. It's like, yo, who's Douglas' manager? Straight up, like, yo, who's Douglas' manager? Yeah. I said, I don't know. I don't know if he has one.
I don't have one.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, how's he getting on the charts, man? What is he doing? You know what I'm saying? I say, you have to ask that man. But I don't think he has a manager right now.
I don't. I had a guy call me one night and had a really great conversation, and he was calling me about an artist that he manages, and he's talking to me, and he's like, hold on, wait a minute. It's about 15 minutes in. Am I talking to an artist or a manager? I'm talking to the artist.
Yeah.
I thought you was his manager. I'm like,
wow.
I am.
Wow, you're managing,
I am. And he was like, bro, I'm so impressed, man. And I'm, I don't know, man. I really, I've been through some bad situations with management. I've been through some bad situations with record labels. And I just got to the point where it's like, I've been doing it all myself. But there's still a testament to that because God has done more. Really, because I could say that all day, right?
Absolutely.
We could cliche that all the way up. God did this,
yeah.
God, and it's just, but for real.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any budgets behind me.
Wow.
I don't have a label behind me. I don't have major cosigns, and I know the major cosigns will tell you don't need that.
Absolutely.
But you do need it.
Absolutely.
You unless you got some money to dish out, unless you just got this undeniable smash that just ends up falling out the sky on the radio or something goes viral.
Yeah.
Really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I work a full-time job. I work a night shift, graveyard shift job, Monday through Friday. I spend my time with my family on the weekends. I don't really hit the road. There's so many things that I could be doing, so much money I could be investing. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying if you in a position to do that,
do it. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
I think God has given me a special kind of favor
Absolutely.
and a special kind of grace when it comes to the things that I've done. And I almost been feeling lately like what He's done for me is He's done things through me to show these new independent artists that you don't have to sell out.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I hit Billboard earlier this year, and I was on Billboard for 6 weeks.
Talk to him.
Straight. That's that heat.
Yeah. I had so many independent artists come to me like, yo, how'd you do it? Man, I had people coming to me going, man, now I know it can be done. And it's like, all right, cool. Like, listen, there's no record deals come from that. There's nobody come running to snatch me up. But at the same time, I feel like I encouraged a whole group of people that were feeling like it couldn't be done and showing, hey, it could be done. And then last month I dropped the EP, right? Peace. And I dropped the EP, and the dope story about that is I was on vacation, and we were in the hotel room, and I had my wife's laptop up, and I'm just like checking my TuneCore and seeing what's moving, and I had these songs that were super old, and I'm like, man, I should just put a single out. I'm just typing everything. Then I'm like, man, I should just put an EP out. I put this whole thing together, and I chose the dates, and it was going to be like 14 days out with 5 or 6 days of pre-order, where most artists plan out months ahead, and they do a month or 2 months of pre-orders. So that they can chart on iTunes.
Absolutely.
And so I'm just like, man, I just want to get this music out. I got a single coming out in September. I just want to get this music out so I could be free from it, and everything we do from now on to be fresh and brand new.
Yeah.
And put it out, pre-order drop like 10 days later, barely promoted it, and barely for real. Like, I didn't even put, artists, y'all listening, anywhere from $10 to $20 can do wonders on Facebook and can do wonders on Instagram.
You're right.
Please don't sell yourself short thinking you need $1,000.
Yeah.
Anyways, I didn't even put.
They set it up like that.
Facebook
got all that marketing.
All that marketing. Yeah.
So I didn't do any of that though. I didn't put no money behind Peace, and then I came in on iTunes at 35, and I was like, I'm looking. I was at work because it dropped at midnight.
I saw when you posted
and I'm at work. I was at work, and I drive a forklift at work, and so I got off and I just walked, and I was just like, I was shocked. I was in awe, and I was just like, I had a moment. I'm like, God, like I literally was like, I'm cool if we hit like 80. On the charts. If we hit like 80 to 100, if I could crack 100, I'm
top 100.
I'm good, right?
Yeah.
30,
Yeah.
We hit 35, and I mean, like I said, I just feel like God has told me a special kind of favor.
Praise God, man.
And this is good, man.
So the body of work that you did with the Peace EP, it was definitely unexpected. We didn't know he was dropping anything. You pulled a Beyonce definitely overnight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it sounds to me like it's a concentrated body of work. It has a tone to it, and I've noticed how you've touched on the injustices. That's going on. Right. If you listen to it, you will hear that tone throughout the body of work. What made you go that route, or what pricked your heart to even share your thoughts with some of the injustices that's going on?
I mean, I look at the news like everybody else does. I look at CNN and look at Instagram and Facebook, and I mean, if you're not careful, it'll just take over.
Absolutely.
And I think at one point it took over, and I was woke. I was woke. I was fake woke.
The matrix of
I was
social media.
right. I was fake woke for a minute, and God was just really showing me, man, like God was really showing me that He knows everything that's going on.
Yeah.
He ain't slow to none of this, and I believe that it's our body, it's our job as the body, as church, to really be the main. That we could really be the main change in the climate. Now, I'm not saying like all this stuff is still gonna happen, but I think we can change hearts one by one.
Absolutely.
But I think we're so divided because if I'm watching the news okay, so I work with a lot of people that grew up North Georgia, and they're like a little older, so you know, or their parents were growing up in the and you know, still all that, like growing up through times when we was getting hit with hoses and getting dogs put on us. Yeah. I think some people I work with were either kids, teenagers, or adults when that happened, right? So they seen it. So when I'm watching all of this, I remember I was at work. This is right after Trayvon Martin happened, and I was at work and I was in the office and I heard a guy in the other room make a joke. He was joking. He made a joke in reference Skittles in Arizona tea, right? What Trayvon Martin had in a hoodie, right? He didn't say his name, but it was like he made like a Halloween joke about you know. Well, I guess if anything, I could just always have on a hoodie with some Skittles in Arizona. Wow. And I'm like, bro, really? Wow. Come on, like man. This, like, listen.
So nobody checked him about that?
Nah, man. Well, the room that he was in was
that's what
was that crowd.
It was that crowd in there. Yeah. And I'm like,
he just did it in front of all of y'all. Like
no. He probably didn't even know I was in the next room.
Okay.
And what was me going in and firing off at him was going to do. I understand my position is to be like a light in this place, but it's hard when you hear blatant disrespect because it had gotten to the point where I was in let's say that was the starting point, but it hasn't been. I've been at my job for like 12 years, so it's been brewing for a long time, right? Yeah. So it's just like almost you get numb to hearing these things, right? So then all of this stuff was happening on the news, Mike Brown and all of this going on and on the news, and there's a TV in the break room. So I got to the point where I would be sitting in the break room going, I can't wait for one of y'all to say something. I can't wait. So then it started arguments and or I would say sly comments. Or I would even try to just be like political about it, and but God started showing me like you only really gonna change their hearts if you change their perspective. But how do I expect these guys to understand what I'm saying when the church is so segregated? So segregated. Martin Luther King said that Sunday was the most segregated time in America, and it's still to this day that ain't changed. I mean, there's some churches that are like, racially mixed, but we still spend a lot of time. We want our perspective. Absolutely. So you have around that time, you had Sunday morning. You had white pastors had to address these things or not, right? But if they had to address it, they addressed it from their perspective. And the black churches, they were doing the same thing. So it's like Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter versus all, within the body. When we could be an instrument of change.
Coming together.
So I felt like when I put that silver lining out of my mouth, it touched on the same. Right on time too. It touched on the same type of thing. So I just kind of feel like my voice is really through my music, and everyday life. But if I'm at that point, I was just feeling like, man, if I'm doing music, I need to use this mic as an instrument of change instead of just let's turn up one time, right? And I think like the songs that seen so much success, I wasn't really speaking on those things. So it's like, all right, cool. I can put a paper planes out. It'll be successful. But if you come snatch up my project,
you can hear the body.
I want you to hear
Yeah.
What I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I just,
So what do you feel about those that feel like, as Christians, we shouldn't get into politics or touch on the politics?
Right out my head, brother.
Come on, brother.
Yeah. I think I asked you that when you came up to the show.
I did.
Yeah, remember? I had flipped the question.
Yeah, you did.
So I was just about to dive into that. Like, how you feel? Because I feel like a lot of times as Christians, we use our walk with Christ as a cop-out to not speak up about certain things. You feel what I'm saying? So, we supposed to be Christians, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm not just going to let you talk to me and deal with me in any type of way. You know what I'm saying? But you feel me?
I definitely feel you. I mean, I think, like, okay, you got one side, you had two sides. Democratic side, Republican side, and forgive me if I'm wrong or anything that I say, or I'm a little misguided.
Say allegedly.
Right, allegedly. one side sits on justice, and one side sits on righteousness. So you have one side, justice is all these rights, where the righteous side is the opposite of that, right? Yeah. But they're not coming together, right? And that's what I think God's throne is on righteousns and justice.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not.
Absolutely.
It's not divided.
Right.
It's both. So I think we can come from. I think we as Christians or as the body can come from a side of both, right? And meet the two in the middle and have a, like I said, perspective, right? Have a different way of seeing things nobody, we want to bash our president, but nobody ever talks about praying. And I said that on the album. I said, the Bible tells us to pray for our officials. It's hard when knowing our leaders ain't even official. Like it's hard.
It's hard to do it.
It's hard to do it.
Yeah.
But my thing is all right. So I was talking to somebody and I was just like, we use. Like I said earlier, we use the Christianity, we use prayer, I feel like it's a cop-out in some ways because of the simple fact, right? Yeah. When you peep what's popping in the Bible, God said anything you bound on earth is bound in heaven. What you loose is loose. Meaning in my perspective, my little head is like, okay, Legacy, you got the power to do it. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm giving you the power and the okay from now. You know what I'm saying? To do it. So stop coming to me and asking me for every, you know what I'm saying? Right. Oh, we just gonna wait till we ain't gonna do nothing because we're gonna wait. God gonna crack the sky any moment now, and we'll be
I think we definitely gotta be. We gotta be active.
Yeah,
we definitely have to be active, and we definitely have to be on the front lines. I'm not gonna argue with you. Right, I'm not arguing with nobody.
That's what I'm saying,
on any of this stuff.
You will never catch me on Instagram or Facebook. I don't do that. All that back and forth, the debating, and I'm not with all that.
Sometimes, I mean, you be wanting to be like, I got this fight. But I just, I definitely feel like we have a place. I mean, Christianity has a place in politics because most of the politicians are claiming Christianity, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just this old way of thinking. It's not, to me, it's not a biblical way. It's just more of a religious way. So we're really people who are like, is it liberals, right? Are looking at politicians going, they're looking at the church through the eyes of what they see these politicians saying and do. So when they look at us, they go, well, they don't believe in this because they're religious. And it's you don't know why we don't. Right. You don't know why we don't agree with that. So let's have that conversation.
Right.
Let's have a conversation of why. See, or let's have a conversation of what this means and what that means instead of and I'm not saying. If you that's why it's so dope what I think what entertainers and what athletes and what all these people can really do with their platform because they can reach the masses. Me, I'm more focused on the people I see every day. Right? Or the people that listen to my music because I got a guy at work, right? And his father is in the Klan. So his father used to take him to rallies all the time. And he would know what I'm saying. So his father, I always got this joke like, bro, your father's so disappointed in you. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't got, because I'm like, your father got the purple joint. Wow. I'm like, bro, you over here, he in there deep. So
to this day?
To this day, yeah. And his father works for us. But anyways.
What?
Anyways. So like his father, the department that dude works in, he's at that point, it kind of changed a little bit now. He was under 3 black dudes. So that's why I would say your father's disappointing you right now. You know what I'm saying? But we would have these talks, and he would tell me why he supported this or why he supported that, and then I would be like, why? So we would have these in-depth conversations, and I remember one day we would have a political conversation. Yeah. Then after a while, I would just be like, man, we gotta get back to work because I'm not going into the whole debate and arguing with things. So one day we were having to talk about Black Panther.
The movie.
This was when it was about to come out, right? And so this is what I mean with I'd rather change your perspective on things. Yeah. And I know this ain't political, but this is where our conversations go, right? Yeah. So he goes, man, I'm not excited about it. And I'm like, cause dude is Comic Con, Dragon Con. Yeah. He's at all of them. Like he's straight like nerd like that. Yeah. So
hey, hold on.
Was that problematic?
No, because I am also a faithful member of the Comic Con community.
Well, you're a comic nerd. It's all good, right? It's all good. Yeah. So he goes, man, I'm not excited about it. And I'm like, why not? It's Marvel, right? Right. So he goes, oh, but Marvel has other black characters I like more. It's not that he's black. It's that I just like Luke Cage more. Or I like, what's your boy, what's the 2 dudes from the Avengers? Man, they get overlooked. Your boy, I don't know, the 2 characters, the 2 black.
The Hawk guy?
The Hawk, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he said them. He likes that, man, but I like this. And I was like, well, look, until Captain America and Bucky get out the way, your boy ain't gonna get no movie. Yeah. And then I said, it's Don Cheadle's character.
The other Iron Man. Yeah,
the other Iron Man. Yeah. So I go, War Machine. I said War Machine ain't getting no movie because Iron Man's still hot. I said Luke Cage is dope, but he's Netflix material because it's more like R-rated, right? I said, so Black Panther, that's Disney's cash cow right now. I was like, look how good it looks. Look, I was like, bro, check it. Look how they making Africa look.
Right.
We don't get to see. Amazing. We don't get to see Africa in that light, right?
Yeah. And then be mad though. Y'all seen Infinity Wars, right?
Yeah. Why they came and ruined it.
Why they gotta go? Yeah. I tweeted in the movie thing. I was like, man, these white folks can't let us have
nothing. They took Wakanda from us.
They done took Wakanda.
But I told homeboy, I said, man, growing up, and I told him I'm Puerto Rican. I said, but to you, we all black, right? So growing up, we ain't see superheroes that looked at us. I was like, bro, all we saw was ball players, gangsters, drug dealers, and rappers. Yeah, that was it. That's all we saw. Those are our superheroes. I said, y'all have always had Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Superman, Batman. Y'all have had that for all this long. I was like,
and all the presidents.
And all
and vice
right. And so I said, y'all have had superheroes for forever. Why can't we have this one and you just appreciate it?
The one that we got.
Just appreciate it. I said a few other things I can't remember, and then I brought it back, and I was like, man. So when you start talking about Black Panther, this and that, I'm just thinking about my kids. I'm like, my kids ain't gotta grow up seeing ball players, gangsters, rappers, dope boys as their superheroes. They could see, and then he goes, they could see a black superhero. And then he said that. And then he goes, man, that's why I like talking to you. Wow. And he walked off. And that's
perspective switch right there.
Perspective switch. And I played that whole story to say that if we could just take time and have a conversation with one person, we may be able to change perspective. We might not. But we tried. But we tried. Absolutely. You know what I'm
saying? That seems like a very smooth conversation, but a lot of times most people ain't like that though.
Nah, but it took time for me to get there.
Because we have
rapport, and before it was, I can't wait till Trump takes over. I ain't got to keep paying these people's insurance no more. It took me breaking through those conversations to get through and chiseling at them conversations to get to where we could talk about Black Panther. Like it took them kind of conversations, but But I mean, I say all that to say I think that we have more of a place in politics than we know, man. Because somebody need to be in there, man, upholding.
But it's interesting because when it comes to politics, when we do get in there, as far as like the Christian body, like we cop out to stay there. So we put our values, our Christian beliefs, our Christian values in the back to make sure we keep our foot in the door. You know what I'm saying?
I
believe that.
That's everything.
But we can't. It's hard.
I believe that we have officials that's not in the main media's eye that's in there doing stuff.
Who, Al Sharpton?
No, that's what I'm saying. Outside of what the public may think,
okay.
I think we have people in there with Christian values that are trying to work on different things. We just don't know their names. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Christians everywhere. You got believers everywhere. You know what I mean? The supermarket, in the hospitals, in the airplane. We got Christians everywhere, believers everywhere. It's just we tend to pay attention to the one that's in the media's eye and say, well, they're not doing anything or they're not, you know what I mean? So, it's nothing wrong with, actually it's biblical to pray for our government officials, pray for our leaders, because the three things that God instituted before the foundations of the world was the government, the church, and the family. And we see that's the three main areas the enemy always attacks. The church, the family, and the government. So we have to pray for the church. We got to pray for our families. We got to pray for the government. I don't agree with nothing that Trump has done since he's been in there. I don't believe in anything. I'm listening to his rhetoric. I'm listening to how he talks, the way he carries himself, the tweets, this whole NFL thing. It went from protest and police brutality, and you switch the narrative to
now you disrespecting
the
our
flag
nation
and the nation and all that.
And it was a veteran that told him to kneel down to do that. That was the most respectful way that you can protest was to just take him down.
And he still flipped it on the head.
You know what I'm saying? So I bless God for that, man, because we do need voices. You know what I mean? In there. Do you think it's our responsibility though? To it may not be a whole album, but if you have a platform to say something, Christians, athletes, or whatever.
Definitely.
But the money, as far as money keeps people from speaking out.
No doubt.
Period. Like, I can't understand how you got athletes that's really out here. Millions of people following them. Hundreds of millions. You know what I'm saying? And you afraid to speak out. Like, you got all this money. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna beat you. Nobody's gonna do nothing.
Yeah, but a lot of them are part of a corporate entity. So it's the brand. I remember. Okay, a few months ago, it's 5:00 in the morning, bro.
Yeah.
I went to the day before. I went to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
And they messed up my order. I'm calling. Nobody answering. Finally called corporate office. They gave me the name of the manager of the Dunkin' Donuts. Spoke to her, but she said, "Okay, well, just go. We'll reimburse you. We want to take care of you, whatever." That evening, I went back. I don't want no coffee at 6:00 in the evening.
Right.
So I say, "Hey, can I come back in the morning and just pick up the dude?" He wrote a note, left it right there. Came back the next morning. We don't know what you're talking about. Da, 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 da. I said, okay. I said, hold up now. I spoke to the store manager. She told me what to do. Well, attitude. You know what I mean? So I parked the car, 5:00 in the morning, kids in the car, wife in the car. I went in there. My wife was like, yo.
Flipped the whole joint upside down.
So I went in there and I'm like, I said, yo, fam, the note's sitting right there. He picks up the note, reads the note, and he's like, nah, well, you still can't. I said, bro, don't let me hop over this counter at 5:00 in the morning, bro.
Word.
And he called the police.
Yeah.
He called the police and said, I heard him distinctly. I don't know what he has on him. So you really want him to come with guns drawn? You dig what I'm saying? He said, I don't know.
Did you have a phone? You weren't like recording that joint?
That's what my wife said. My wife said, you should have recorded that.
That was a
you know what I mean? So I said, yo, the young girl gave my stuff. She was apologetic, whatever. So I'm walking out the store now.
Yeah.
He's outside on the phone. And as a man, you don't invite another man to your joint.
Ooh, No, whether you ready.
He's inviting me to his.
That's
right?
whether you
bro.
You gotta be ready,
bro.
When you say that,
you better be ready
for everything,
so,
whatever.
My wife, she grabbed.
I'm saying, fight, kill, die, jail,
something,
or
it's not gonna go good,
or you don't never know who you're talking to, Mike.
All of the Mike.
Right over the counter by the milk.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yo, but my wife, she knows, at that time, my wife she knows me. At that time, I turn around, she was behind me.
Yeah.
And all that's going on, and I'm like, yo, I said, bro, you a sissy, man.
Yeah.
I said, you are straight, and he's loud and belligerent, and cameras are everywhere. And I stopped and handed my wife the stuff, and I remembered I had a Children's Hospital logo on my shirt.
Yep.
So all that they needed to see was the employee fighting with somebody.
Yeah.
That's all. So that's what these athletes are thinking. They're looking at the brand, their money, they're part of a corporate entity. You have to be really secure and just be on some, I got this. If you fire me, I got this. You don't think Kaepernick weighed all that? He had to weigh all that. You know what I'm saying? He had to weigh all that, but look at what is going on because he took the knee, man.
So what about it? What about it from a church perspective?
What's up?
Because you don't really hear the church speaking out a lot on a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Is it the same thing with their branding and all that extra joint that they afraid of, or what?
I just think it's
What you think?
I just think they're scared of losing taxpayers. My church, and of course this is gonna sound, of course, like the perfect. My pastor speak on it, but my pastor white, and right now we in the middle of a series called One Race, and he's never shied away from. But we go to a multi-ethnic church, so he's never shied away from speaking on it. Now he'll speak on it, and he'll try to see. He won't just be like. He'll talk and he'll go. This is what white people do. This is what black people do. This is what Asian people do. This is what Hispanic people do. And he'll try to teach different. Everybody catches some smoke, right? Everybody catches smoke. And right now, this is a plug, right? So August 25th, we're taking several churches in the Atlanta area, and it's a joint called One Race, like the series, and we're doing a service on the top of Stone Mountain on Saturday, August 25th, and it's a prayer and worship service for racial reconciliation. You know what I'm saying? So my pastor has said it several times about man, it probably get to the point one day when they try to come and shut us down. Do you know that there are churches right now that are never mind. No, okay, I can say it. I can say it. There are churches right now. I'm saying there are churches right now. Their staff's being trained on how to deal with these different attacks. So there are people from different community, LGBTQ, P, LMNO, F, whatever community, right? The alphabet community, right? They come in and they're going. They're saying they want their pastor to marry them, and they're only doing it to see if it's declined. So these different communities and different things are going. We want your help with this, and if they go, we can't do it. So there's protocol. So even if a couple comes to you and they want counseling, now soon there's a way that you're gonna have to say. Pretty soon you'll be saying, no, I can give you advice.
So you can't
because you don't have a degree in counseling.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to break it down to the
loopholes,
all the loopholes, trying to find ways to break the church down to where they don't have power anymore because of the things that we've traditionally been like. Anybody could come to you and be like, I need counseling. And you'd be like, all right, come on. I'll counsel you every Wednesday night from 6 to 7. And then somebody could come and go, you're not a counselor, you're using the wrong, and boom, 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 now you can't do this and that. And it's just, so they're actively trying to break down the church, but what we got to do is be, We gotta hold it down like they did back in the days.
This is a good question for Pastor
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the bylaws.
How you deal with if you were put in that type of situation?
It's in the bylaw.
You have to?
It's in my bylaw for my church
That you have
that I do not marry, same sex, all that is all that we are about. It's in the bylaw.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying? So before you come, or when you come and say, "Hey, I want you to do this," I'm going to slide you the bylaw. That's my right. Church has nothing to do with state. But
so what's the bylaws? Like, what is that?
That's the criteria for my church. This is what we stand by. These are the guidelines for my church or for our church.
Yeah.
This is what we stand by. This is what we do. This is what we don't do. It's like a prerequisite. So before you come and get some of this is what we stand for.
Yeah. So when you hit it with the heat, they can't say nothing.
You can't say it's in the bylaw. You dig what I'm saying? But what he's saying is they're trying to find every way to break it down every which way. You know what I'm saying? So, this is a great topic, man. Great conversation. I want everybody to go to www.thinkingoutloudnetwork.com, www.thinkingoutloudnetwork.com. Check out the different series that we have, the different episodes that we got going on. Follow us on social media at Thinking Out Loud Network. That's Thinking Out Loud Network. Also, Hud's House Podcast on Instagram. You dig? We got my boy Double ATL in the building.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Yo, so the Peace EP. You said you dropped it. You got some, dated joints on there, but so relevant.
Yeah.
So relevant. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? How do you stay in pocket and stay relevant? That a year or 2 years after recording.
Because things haven't changed, bro.
Man, that's dope.
That's
dope.
Things ain't changed.
That's a good answer.
Things ain't changed.
Great answer.
I mean, I almost for the sake of my loved ones,
right.
I almost wish it was dated. I wish this stuff I was saying was dated because that would mean things would have changed. And I mean, 2, 3, 4 years ain't a long time. You know what I'm saying? And we do have to, Martin Luther King also said, like, I may not see it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it may not happen in my lifetime. Right. So, yeah, I mean, of course, we want things changed now. My wife want to watch the news every night before we go to sleep. I'm like, yo, turn that off. Tired of
trying to have that in my spirit.
I ain't really trying to see all this negativeness. If you still up,
Yeah.
So like,
on that.
I can think of some other things we can be doing right now. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Instead of watching the news,
facts.
I got some good news for you. No, man.
Fact of
but 100,
you're right.
like man, things ain't changed, man, and but it's we got to be in it for the long haul.
So like both of y'all being parents, man. Like my biggest fear right now, bro, is like I don't want to say that I'm afraid because I'm newlywed, but I'm like, dang, man, like my kids got to come. It's a totally different world from like how we grew up. I'm 25. You know what I'm saying? And the world back then was so different. We really sat down and gradually saw the world change into this. Like, it's crazy. So how y'all deal with that, like being parents? Because I can't relate as of yet. But like, how you deal with it? Because like you said, the reason why the album is still relevant is because
things ain't changed.
But it's just like it has changed. But for the worst, in the worst way you could think of, and it's getting worse. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think a lot of this stuff is forcing parents to parent.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Forcing parents to parent.
This is if you love your family, it's forcing you to parent your child. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You gotta equip them.
Absolutely.
Equip them.
Absolutely.
And I mean that's easy to say, and it's you gotta figure out how that looks. But I got a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. What's the most I can say? When we pray at night, when we all pray together, I always include that and ask God to help us love, one another and love our neighbor. And so I kind of try to right now. That's what I can do to train them is to look, no matter what, love. You gotta love your neighbor. And so but my 7-year-old is she's starting to catch on to a lot of things. So. It's just about having that conversation. It ain't always easy. you're gonna have them conversations about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like she was hearing a song and she goes, "They say a bad word in that song," and I go, "What?" And they go, "They said sexy," and I go, "Oh yeah." I go, "You ever see like how I hug your mother, kiss your mother?" It's because I think she's sexy, right? It's because I'm attracted to her. I think I say, but as we're married, so I can see her and think this, and it's hard. Like it's hard, but you got to figure out a way to have these conversations. If she goes, if she goes like, what? Well, why would this person say this word? And it's like.
They're thinking, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, their minds are
going, and you got to be quick. You got to be quick on your toes. It's just really about having the conversation. Yeah. And I ain't saying I get that right all the time. I feel sometimes I'll be like, "Yo, I'll talk to you about that later."
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm not in the mood. I'll talk to you about that later. And really, when she walks off, I'm like, "Oh man, how am I gonna have this conversation?" You know what I'm saying? And so she's the older that she gets, the more inquisitive she is. And the more inquisitive she is, my 4-year-old is
watching
right there,
right behind it. Yeah,
my 4-year-old repeats everything that she says.
So you got to be careful how you go about telling her, because the 4-year-old might end up asking her questions.
Yeah, because the comprehension is different. Yeah. My son, we were a couple months ago. We were in the bedroom, man, and my wife was there, and we were trying to prep him for elementary. So I said, "Hey, son," I said, "You a big boy, right?" He said, "Yep, Dad, I'm a big boy." So I was like, "Yo, you ready to go to the big boy school?" He said, "No, I don't want to go there because they're bad people." So I'm thinking he means like kids are unruly or whatever. He said, I said, "You got bad kids, where you go now?" He said, "No, because they can't come in there and shoot nobody with the guns."
Here we go.
Bro.
Yeah. What do you do?
I'm like fumbling. Let me tell you, that's the least. Bro.
4. Your son's 4, right?
4 years old.
That's crazy.
That's the last thing I thought he was going to ask me or say.
Right.
Yo, how
So
you bounce back?
I had to really gather myself. I'm looking at my wife. She's looking at me. I'm like, and I had to explain to him. You know what I'm saying? Of course, God's gonna cover you, watch you, and all that.
Yeah.
And it said not all bad people come into the schools and so on and so forth. And you got your teachers there and everything. But it blew my 4 years old.
Yeah.
That's not
the social media world too, though.
I don't know how, bro, because we don't watch the news. Whatever comes on my news feed.
Yeah.
That's what I rarely look at the news because, like what Double was saying, it's like, it's it's just, you know what I mean? So whatever comes in my news feeds, or I know when something going viral, then I'll look into it. You dig what I'm saying? Or I may click on CNN, just for a couple minutes, see what's going on. But we don't talk about that stuff.
Right.
But for somehow, it got into his psyche. And he's like, I don't want to go to the big people school because they come into the school and shoot people up.
That's scary.
At 4?
That's
crazy.
Blue minds, bro. Blue minds. So, but, I thank God for you, man, and your parenting and your advice and everything like that. You know what I mean? Talk to us a little bit, man, about we're gonna get Scott free up here. We was about to get him up here. Yeah, man, that's big bro, man. If he the mayor of Atlanta, Scott Free gotta be the governor.
The governor.
Gotta be the governor. You know what I'm saying? Governor Free. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we spoke a couple weeks ago. Shouts out to him. Just had a baby boy. Praise God for him and his wife, man.
Started over.
Yeah.
He started fresh. His youngest son is 13.
So he got to go right back. If I could turn back. So he went back. Over again. You know what I'm saying? But shouts out to him, man. We're going to get him up here. We spoke about that a few months ago, man. But tell us a little bit about your heart for serving. Because you've always been that type of guy. I remember, years ago, you would go pick up visiting artists from the airport.
Yeah.
And you would be there. He would be like the liaison, you know what I'm saying? Show them around the city, make sure they're comfortable, and so on and so forth. And I think all that seed sowing that you did, you dig what I'm saying? Is what's
definitely
giving way to billboard and to opportunities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't always come back monetarily. Sometimes it comes back in,
Yeah. I always tell people, like up and comers, and cats just trying to get it. Not even just rappers and artists. Yeah. But if you somebody that got a vision and you were behind somebody else with a vision, the more you serve that person's vision, it's like, okay, so say I'm Pastor Ryan. Okay, Pastor Ryan. Pastor Ryan was serve his pastor back in the day.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so there's a character that's built out of that, right?
Yeah.
And that this man has. But there's also doors that Ryan was able to walk through that he would have never walked through if he wasn't serving this man. So there's places you were able to go, right? Because you was serving this man. So like, all right, let's say with Scott. So Scott could care less about rapping, right? But he's in these circles because of who he is, and because there ain't a whole lot of people that's really about that life, right? So anywhere that I walk in with him, I'm walking through those doors with him.
Absolutely.
I'm still carrying my vision.
Absolutely.
So I'm pushing this vision,
right.
but I'm holding on to mine.
Yours.
So I'm in this door, I'm in this room with my vision as well. So when it's time for stuff to come to fruition for me, I've already been through these doors.
Absolutely.
And my character is shown out of that, and people want to help because of that.
That's good.
And that's just one side of it. You know what I'm saying? That's one side of it. You know, it would have been an honor to be a disciple, right? I mean, he only chose 12 of them. You know what I'm saying? To follow him, to be his crew, to be his inner circle. So I feel like serving something that's greater than yourself, it goes along the same lines. So I've always looked at it as not just out of opportunity, but just out of walking out, you know, the way that the disciples did when they were walking behind Jesus.
How do you balance everything? You know,
I write a book when I figure it out.
Still a work in progress. Because you do so much. You know, obviously you started the show out. You know, letting everybody know your first love in ministry is your wife and your children.
Yeah, definitely.
You got City Takers, you got your recording career, you got a
Yes.
full-time job.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? And everything else that you got going on, you got different events and things like that. You're here on the podcast today. You know what I mean? How do you balance that out? Or is what you said true? You're still working it out as you go?
Yeah, it's definitely still working it out. Me and my wife are definitely figuring out how that looks. My kids love to have me at home, so they don't understand. Like today, my 4-year-old asked me when I was on the way, "Are you at home?" And I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Why?" Right. And then they don't understand. You know, I had to go somewhere Saturday, and my 7-year-old was mad at me. But she's like, "You're never home." I'm like, "Well, I'm always here.
Yeah.
I'm always home. I just took y'all to the movie."
Right.
I don't know. It's a work in progress. I think like my wife can be spoiled at times because I had decided at one point I was always gone. Right? I was always gone. I was doing City Taker stuff. We had radio show on Saturday nights.
About that, yeah.
We had I was a youth leader at my church for like 3 years. So there's meetings that go along with that. There's meetings that go along with City Taker stuff. There's the radio show. There's stuff that I do as double. There's the homeless joint. There's prison. All this stuff. There's artists that come in town. They hitting me up. Yo, I'm in town. Let's go do lunch. I'm always going. And me, I was just stretching myself out then. And I was at work. And when I was at home, I'm like this on the phone for the y'all who aren't looking on YouTube. I'm on the phone pressing buttons, and my wife's like, it got to the point where my wife was like, "Yo, I'm done. I'm done. I'm doing this all on my own anyways. You could just go ahead and go." And we went through a hard period where she was saying it was too late. Not even God could fix or tear down this wall that I had helped to build up. And so I dropped everything. I called everybody. I called my youth pastor. "Yo, I'm done. You ain't gonna see me for a minute." I called Scott. "Hey, bro, you ain't gonna see me for a minute. Stop doing the music. Fasted off of social media for a little while." And I just gave my all to my family. And then I started to pray different. I started to pray more in faith and not just in hope. Wow. And so you know, my marriage and my family life turned. It did that one day. I hate when people say 360. You know
right back
they
around.
always say 360.
180, right?
Anyways, I did a 180, and we were back to like how we were when we were just dating.
Wow.
You know, and so from that point, when it was time to get back to things, it was like, okay, let's look at the schedule,
right,
and let's figure out. Okay,
right.
I'm back to doing things, but I ain't doing a radio show no more. That's Saturday nights. I'm still not gonna go back to serving that as a youth leader because that's Wednesday night. Let's look at what we can do. Let's look at what we gonna do and how we gonna map this out. And so right now, like I come to my wife with stuff. So there's stuff like. There was an opportunity for me last weekend to go out of town, but because it was like the day before, I had to decline.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, because when I checked the temperature, it wasn't hitting. It wasn't hitting. So I'm going to Baton Rouge this weekend coming up.
Gotcha.
But that was agreed upon weeks ago or a month ago.
Gotcha.
And so we have a calendar at home, and if it's not on that calendar, we ain't talked about it. It ain't gonna get done.
That's good.
And so it's just about balancing. But a lot of times, like today, when I was on my way home here, I could tell my wife wanted me to turn around and come home. But so there's that balance. There's times when I have to say, look, I got to go do this, right? And then there's times when I'm like, I ain't going.
Right.
So it's just trying to figure out how to balance everything, and at the same time, like when I get home tonight, this phone don't need to be nowhere near me.
Right.
You know, that's good.
That's good for you. You hearing this?
That's what I'm
hearing this?
Because my thing is like, and you know, I got stuff that's going on.
Absolutely.
And it's just like right now. That's one of my biggest fears. Like, and I've trained myself. Like, yo, when I'm around my wife, yo, I don't even touch my phone. I'm like, yo, look, listen, my family members, they got a special ringtone. If I don't hear that sound, it's no one important.
Right.
Because you're here, and that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If my mama pops or my brother or sister call or a family member call,
you know,
I know that sound. It's like, I got to take this. But like, I appreciate you saying that because my biggest fear is getting too involved with everything that's going on and then forget about my duties as a husband when it comes to that my wife. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course, you know, the intimate stuff is always going to pop off, but it's that affection and that time that you just got to be around. You know what I mean?
One thing, you know, I can give you is where you go, take her.
Bro, I've been
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not just talking about physically.
Yeah.
I'm you know, or just taking her to the event or whatever. I'm talking about as you grow higher, and as your calendar opens up and opportunities open up or whatever, you gotta. Cause I remember one time my wife, she was the narrative or what she was kicking at me was, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm just here. I'm not doing that. Oh my God.
Yeah. Nah, they don't want to compete.
No,
they don't want to compete with nothing. Nothing. And they shouldn't have to.
No, they shouldn't.
But go ahead.
So what are you saying as far as making them a part of what you're doing?
Make them a part of what you're doing.
That's what I've been. Wow. Something like
there you go.
You know, the Spirit of God must be
confirmation.
Because the thing is, like that's so dope, bro. Yeah, it's funny how you say that because everything that I'm doing, she has some sort of,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like if it's the radio show,
absolutely,
she running the boards,
absolutely,
she doing the, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If she can't do it, then I get somebody else
absolutely.
like Reviving Manifest, someone else. But usually she's the one versus me and her.
I'm trying to tell you, man. That, I mean, my wife does some of my bookings now. You know, but there's like I tell her all the time. You got to find what you want to do too, and let me help you in that as well. Let me fall back and let me push you into what.
My wife was telling me recently she was thinking about going back to school for like 10 months. She's like, but it's too much going on. I ain't gonna be able to do it. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, if it's your time to shine, it's your time to shine.
Let's
you know, because I already know, like, I've already taken up so much time to do my thing. Like, we gotta figure out where she fits in it. I mean, we still trying to figure out where. So right now it's pretty much she probably I would say she manages my schedule, which I would love for her to be my manager, but she just ain't. She's just not into it. But you gotta either find what she likes to do, what she's great at. And
cultivate it,
and help to cultivate is a great word.
New music, what you got?
New music, I got a single dropping September. I can't can't divulge the date or any of the information for that. It's coming soon though. Yeah, I got some people actually behind this one, so it's not my decision anymore.
Okay.
So I got a new single coming out, new single and video coming out next month. Right now you can get the PCP. Somebody said you just wanted to say PCP. You can go get the Peace EP, which is 4 songs on there.
Dope, man.
You can go get that on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, everywhere. It's available on YouTube. It's available everywhere. There's some other music, YouTube. If you go to everything's under double ATL. So if you go search double ATL under no matter what you on, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music, all that.
You got a new video as well. You just dropped a couple months ago, right?
Yeah, I dropped a song called video called Plug.
As soon as he said it, I just said, plug what?
Plug what? Yeah. So I dropped Plug. Just always want to kind of have some content. Have some content out there, and you never know, man. Just advice to all these artists coming up, if you're listening, just continue to drop content.
Every they say, the experts say every 6 weeks there need to be some type of content release, but a video or it could be a blog, it could be something.
Anything. 6 weeks is too long though.
That's what I said. Well, 4 to 6 weeks. Every 4 to 6 weeks. So every month, pretty much, you should be dropping something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because you still got to drop it and give it time to bubble and get it to, you know what I'm saying?
You never know what's gonna grow legs.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You might be like, I might be holding on to a hit, it's about to be it, and then it don't be it. It'd be the next thing that's
the thing that you least.
Yeah.
I remember what song is it that DMX dropped that he said he hated it, and the label forced him to drop it, one of the biggest hits.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It could have been Stop Being Greedy. I'm not sure what song it was, but he said he absolutely hated
Was
the
it
song.
Up in Here? Was it that one?
No, it wasn't that one. It was off his first album.
That dropped.
Okay.
That blew up as soon as he dropped.
I hated that song.
I hated that song.
That's why it blew up.
I can't
That's why it blew up. I hate
that
that song,
bro. I hated it,
song.
man. Yo, my God. But once again, y'all, www.thinkingoutloudnetwork.com is where we at to check out the content. Tell everybody where they can find you, Doug.
At double_ATL, or just double ATL on everything. All across the board. Website's being worked on again right now. So look up citytakers.com to find out anything that we're doing in the community. We always need people to serve, man. We always need. Every 4th and 5th Monday, we at Safe House, which is a homeless shelter downtown. Every first Sunday evening, we at Clayton County Correctional Facility. Doing that, we doing a bunch of stuff. City Takers is coming up on the 24th, and then we got one race on the 25th. There's a lot of stuff going on, so just hit me up. Reach out, man. I ain't bougie. I check all my DMs. But if you sliding in them,
and he answered,
wifey answering them joints.
And he answered, man. He followed back. You know what I'm saying? I just thank God for you, brother, man, and all that you've done and all that you're doing and all that you're in position to do. You know what I'm saying? I really thank God for you, man. And just a little bit of I remember years ago somebody told me, it was a pastor. He told me, he said, "Yo, he's gonna blow up before you." I was on Memorial Drive. I'll never forget the conversation. He said, "Man, he gonna blow up." He said, "He gonna blow up before you." You dig what I'm saying? And I was like, "Yo, if he does, I know I'm gonna get double for my trouble." You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna get double for my trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about your success, bro. You know what I'm saying? The family and in ministry and everything like that, man. I any last words or closing remarks?
Oh, but I want to say how proud I am of you as well, my brother.
Appreciate you,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying? Pastor in the church.
Appreciate you,
something I've always seen you doing. Running this podcast, something that I know I wanted to well, I still am going to do what we're supposed to do like 4 years ago.
Gotta do it.
So, but just to see you working, and you know, I remember I told you when you got married to like enjoy that time.
One of the greatest advice I got, I remember standing in my living room. He said, "Bro, you're not in no." He said, "Yo, enjoy being married. Yo.
Yeah.
The music ain't going nowhere. Enjoy being married, man."
So, I just want to put you on a pedestal for that moment and tell you, I'm proud of everything you're doing with the music. You know, traveling and you know, getting on radio and you know, you just moving, man. And I just keep pushing, brother. Keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Salute to your wife and your kids. You got a strong unit. And it's good to see you with the homie G Wade. That's an OG.
That's my guy.
You know, solid foundation. Shout out to Thinking Out Loud Network. And so in Legacy, it'd be good to see what you got going on. And
yes, sir. We gonna link up. Trust me.
Link up and do some things, man. And on the way out, I guess I'm not closing this down. I'm just saying one more story because you asked. So when HUD got married,
I
met the story I was waiting.
I met my wife in 1999.
Yeah.
Right. I'm telling my age. We met in 1999. We were fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
And so you know, I was a dirt ball for a lot of that. I was a jerk for a lot of that. You know, growing up, we were 18, 19. We were 19 when we met. 19, and so. You know, we pretty much grew up together and learned life together in those years, and so it took me a long time to get my head right. Yeah. But Ryan met his wife, right? I had been with my girl for a long time. Ryan met his wife. Snap. My brother met his wife like a few years after I met mine. Yeah. So then Jose got married first, right?
He's
the oldest.
Yeah, Jose.
So he should. It really happened in the age. In the ages. So my brother gets married.
Yeah.
And my wife I was the best man.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time I'm looking at my wife and she's just. I mean, she got the hot eyes, she's ripping a hole through my suit, like she looking at me, she heated, because my brother gets married first. So then Ryan gets married a year later, right? A year later, I'm in his wedding as well. My brother was his best man. I'm in his wedding, and my wife is my wife now, my girl then, she's sitting right there, like maybe second or third row, and she's looking at me like she's heated, bro. Scorching, man. She's scorching, and then I think we got married maybe a year or two after. A year and a half after that. And so about time. You know, it was right on time. You know, I don't suggest anybody take 10 years to get married after they meet their spouse, but definitely no.
I didn't even think like that. I didn't even think she would, but now looking back, bro, you probably. Yeah. But I remember right before you got married. It could have been the weekend before you got married. We were at an event. Me, you, Dice was there. It was outside. It was on the steps somewhere. I can't remember where it was. So many events. And I mean, he was there, and I don't know why I turned and I looked at Takia. And she must have just got her hair done. That thing was bouncing, bro. And she was sitting there. Boy, she gave you that look like, boy, when I get married to you. I was looking at her, she was looking at you, and I looked at you, and you looking at her. I said, yo, it's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go. I think
it's a different look now. It's a different look now.
Yeah.
It's a different look. It's a,
You know. She was, she gave him the look like.
9 years in, it looks a little different, but it's all good, though.
The fact of the matter is, they still looking at each other. You know what I'm saying? So, salute my G. I appreciate you, man. When you drop the video, drop the come back up. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's do some, the more dialogue and everything like that.
Yeah, man.
Like that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shouts out to my boy G Wade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Serena Love. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna put out an all points bulletin for her. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. My boy Legacy. This is the Hud's House podcast with double ATL. We out. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Hud's House. You're listening to the Hud's House podcast with E. Hud and Serena Love on the Thinking Out Loud Network.